enjoy the fun, chatting with interesting people while styling while we run. It's Kickin in Crocs. We're kicking in Crocs.
Hello, and welcome to Kicking in Crocs, the podcast, where we talk about martial arts stuff, geeky stuff, and all sorts of stuff. My name is Steve, 1/3 of Kicking in Crocs.
I'm not that sad.
You're not sad?
Not really, Dave. The other third of Kicking in Crocs, because the other one's not here, so I guess
You're not sad that Nick is not here to say the final third?
No. I'm 1/3 of Kicking in Crocs. He's 1/3 of Kicking in Crocs.
Well, Nick, just so you know, this helps you realize which one of us is actually your friend.
That guy's on a boat.
So, yeah, Nick is on a boat right now. He is on a cruise.
Which I'm sure we'll get details of in future podcasts.
Absolutely. Well, you remember what happened the last time Nick was on a cruise?
Yeah, I told him to get some videos.
He got some
but
submissions.
I don't know if he actually got out there and got some this time.
Yeah, that's a good question. He might not have. We'll have to see when he gets back. But he's on good old vacation with the family. He's out and
Vacation
about.
had to get away.
Did he mention where he was going on the cruise? Like where it was leaving from and going to?
Water. It's fine. It's a cruise. It's on a boat.
The ocean.
He's on a boat.
Yeah, but like normally don't cruises have like destinations?
I have never been on a cruise, and I do not know.
He didn't say any. I'm trying to. He said where he was going.
My mom wanted to take us all on a cruise for Dominic's graduation.
That sounds like fun.
My son's crying again.
Oh, I can't hear him, so. But
I can hear him.
But Kelsey can.
My alarms go off.
The shadow half of Kicking in Crocs is.
He knows there's something going on out here, so he's
I know that's my fault, but
let him play with all the wires.
yeah.
So what's new in your life? We have no planned topics for today.
Not really, because Nick isn't here. He seems to be the one that like inspires the topics. I wouldn't even say that he comes up with the topics, but he just.
No, I mean we do
inspires us
sit
to
down.
come up with
I mean,
topics.
okay, so
We can talk about cruises.
Kelsey's birthday was yesterday.
If we're doing time travel,
If we're
yes.
time traveling.
I'm sure she had a very happy birthday.
Tomorrow, as of this recording. If we're recording.
I'm sure she had a very happy birthday based off of all the Crocs that you got her for her birthday, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no Crocs for her birthday. But yeah, there's also fights which we may or may not get to watch.
That's true. You said he'd be back in time, though.
Yeah, but then my mother-in-law moved the time later again.
Oh, so our future selves might not
have seen these fights that are coming up.
Exactly. So
well, we're gonna miss the Wonder Boy fight.
Well, I'm gonna watch that anyways because it's for fun.
I might turn it on I might turn it on at their house because it's Wonder Boy.
It is Wonder Boy. That's very true.
Wonder Boy's fighting the main event of the prelim.
Yeah, unfortunately, he has lost a couple times in the past. So
I think actually it was because he turned down a couple of fights and then just Dana White kind of sticking it to him a little bit. That's what he said too. Like he wasn't happy. Wonder Boy wasn't happy about it, and there's some differences in the comments about that.
Well, you know what he has to do then? He has to go in there and just
because people are giving him nonsense.
Completely destroy his opponent.
Well, that's what he was saying. He said that too because people were giving him nonsense about because he pulled out of the one fight where
keep talking. I just got to turn the lights on. Probably.
Yuri Prohaska didn't was it? No, it wasn't Yuri Prohaska. Yeah, was it Yuri Prohaska? No. Michel Pereira. It was Michel Pereira, the insane guy that does all the flips and stuff. It was Michel Pereira, and that guy didn't make weight, and then Wonder Boy.
Yeah, and then Wonder Boy
fight
wouldn't fight him because he didn't make weight. Which, you know what, the fighters are well within their right to do that. They have the option to do that.
But people were giving him crap. But whatever.
I know that there are some fighters like, oh, I'll still fight him anyways. But you know, when you're off by a couple of pounds, that makes a difference. It makes a difference, believe it or not. Like, and that's also part of the fight.
Also, he didn't want to lose. Like, if he goes in and he loses his spot, you know, like.
Yeah, it's also true. And if
like,
he loses the fight, then he has to go down in the rankings and whatnot, and it's a whole big rigmarole and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's part of the fight game. Like, unfortunately, and as we've talked about this in the past, as dangerous as it is, cutting weight is part of the fight game right now.
For now.
Hopefully that'll change.
I need this receipt.
That's what it is. Well, you have it?
I said, I need this receipt.
You have a receipt.
Like too crinkled. Yeah, so we'll probably miss Wonder Boy's fight. Well, it's free on the prelims.
I'll watch it. I'm not going to miss it. I can still watch it.
And then, yeah. What's his face is fighting again? Alex Pereira. Again?
Yeah,
he's the main event. Alex Pereira and Khalil Roundtree.
Bro.
Roundtree and Pereira.
Has anybody ever done this? Like they fought
The amount of time. I mean, it seems like every other pay-per-view
he's involved
Alex
in.
Pereira.
I'm surprised he wasn't involved in the Noche
It's
UFC
like
that just happened.
every other pay-per-view, this guy's like the main event. And on, so what's the guy? I'm trying to remember, like, what's the co-main? Because I know it's Pereira and Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah.
What is the co-main? I
All
know.
right, if only there was a device that we could use
I'm
to
gonna
look
look
up
it
this
up.
information.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
My device is currently being used as our camera right now, but you got one. You got one that you can use.
Raquel Penick and Julia Pena for the women bantamweight.
Nice. Cool.
Then Jose Aldo's fighting again.
What?
Jose Aldo.
How old is he now?
He's actually not as old as you think.
Really? I
because
feel like
just
he's
the
been
fight,
fighting
he's fighting
forever.
forever, but he was fighting young. Jose Aldo is 38.
For the lighter weight classes, like he's what? He's going to be in bantam?
He is fighting bantam. Yep.
I'm sorry. That's a weight class for
And then
younger people.
the
'Cause he got to
opener,
be fast, and he's definitely not as fast.
the opener of the the opener of the UFC fight night of the main card is Kayla Harrison.
Do I
Just
know her?
Caitlin- Yeah, the big judo girl that made her debut not too long ago.
Oh, that fought that fought Holly Holm?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so she's fighting again. Okay, nice. So it's going to shape up to be a good pay-per-view. Seems like we got some very, very good fights on. Like Wonder Boy being on the prelims, still on part of the card. So
Fighting
that'll be something
Joaquin
I'm
Buckley.
interested to see.
That'll be an interesting fight.
Yeah,
I hope he pulls it off. I hope he does it. In a
I
good-
really hope so too. Like I
fashion,
want him
too.
to show that he's still got it. Like he's not getting any younger, and he just has
Nah,
to show
I mean
that
he's
he can
definitely in
still
the
do it.
twilight of his career as far as fighting is concerned. I would think.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe he has one last run, maybe, but
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, he's close to your age, right?
no, he is
He's older than you, I thought.
my age. I think.
Yeah, I thought he was a year older than you.
Actually, I
or
think
something
I'm
like
a year young. I think I'm a year older than him.
that. Are you? Oh, okay.
I think I'm a year older than him.
I knew he was in that range. Like he's in his early 40s.
No, we're the same. He's 41.
Okay.
So we're the same
yeah,
age.
and you know, you've been saying it yourself. You know, you even feel a difference. So he's got to be feeling a difference. For
Well,
doing it as much as
recovery
he has.
definitely takes longer.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you have to warm up a little
But he hasn't
more.
fought in a long time, so I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
by this point he's
No,
he's-
but I mean
he's
training
pretty fresh.
recovery and things like that.
Yeah.
He's still he still moves fast. He still looks slick.
Oh, it's
So-
insane.
Which is,
It's absolutely insane.
I
It's
feel like
like-
I still move
You still move fast.
fast,
Absolutely.
but like I definitely, I
Fast.
think
You're still
20-something
faster
year
than
old,
everybody
I
else
think
I've ever sparred.
20-something year old me probably moves faster than
Oh.
I do now.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Like I even feel myself being slower, but that just might be because I don't know. I might not be sparring the same way that I used to.
But
Yeah.
I hope he gets it done because I don't think he has too many more.
Well, at some point, your body is just going to say no.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like if he keeps losing the wrestlers, like he can't.
Yeah,
You can't-
unfortunately, it's like you said this. I forget which episode it was, but it was a while ago. But you said there's very few specialists left in the UFC. That everybody
Not
is
a lot.
everybody's very well rounded. Like they have set game plans. They have things that they favor.
Although I say that,
they're
but
very
then you have Alex
well-rounded.
Pereira, who's a specialist, who's like,
Well, that's what you said. There was very few. Alex Pereira is definitely one of them. Wonder Boy is definitely one of them. And then you have some grappling specialists that are in there as well.
Alex Pereira's
But
killing it.
very few people that are left that are very like one dimensional.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Boy's decent. He's good on the ground. I mean, he can wrestle. He had great
no
takedown
doubt.
percentage.
He's trained with Chris
He's
Weidman.
just come up against some.
Also very good wrestlers, so
Really
that is
good
their thing.
wrestlers.
And you even said it good yourself, or was it Nick? But one of you guys said that if you're not training something like that from a very early age,
that
like
was
you do with
me.
the striking,
It's whatever you do from an early age kind of sticks with you, and it's really hard to catch up because your body
for Wonder Boy, it
develops.
was striking, yeah, and grappling is something he had to do
because it becomes
later
like
on.
you actually the neural pathways in the brain
Yeah, it's very
are
what's the word I'm looking
very
for?
well cut. Those paths are cut strong, so
naturally.
That's-
'Cause they're constantly
they've been
firing
doing
on
it
that.
from a young age.
Not to
So
get
you-
scientific on everybody, sorry, but
No, but you grow up, you go through puberty, your body develops doing all those motions.
Exactly, and they're doing that already. Yeah, exactly.
So it becomes more second nature to try and learn it when you're older.
It's
You
harder to
can get
into
really
it.
good at
You
it.
can,
I mean,
yeah,
a great
absolutely.
example would be George St. Pierre
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
because
He got into it a little bit later in life, didn't he?
Well, no, he always did martial arts. He was a Kyokushin guy, but wrestling, and he's considered one of the greatest wrestlers in MMA. He didn't wrestle. He never wrestled for a high school team. Never wrestled collegiate.
It seems
never
like
wrestled.
in order to do that, that needs to be what you focus training on. Like you're just training that.
Like he did not compete in wrestling. It was not a thing. He
Gotcha.
just knew how to. He picked it up and he used it well.
Good. It's pretty cool. Well, it's like when you're seeing, like with, I hate to use this as an example, but like Jake Paul. There's a big difference between him and guys that have been boxing since they were kids. Like he got into it and
Some of them.
he rose up pretty fast, but
Some of them. I mean, he's accurate, legitimately good boxer.
no, I didn't say he was bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you can see the difference in his skills. Like, have you ever watched one of his boxing matches?
That's the one that constantly boxes.
Jake.
That's the one that constantly boxes.
Yeah, Logan just did it for.
Yeah, no,
what's
I've seen his boxing matches. He looks like a good amateur.
He looks like a very good amateur.
Um,
But here's the thing: is that when you put him up against, like, some of the pros, like not like have him be in a fight with
He
them,
had the
but-
one fight with what's his face's brother,
Yeah, you're right. I know what you're talking
and it was
about. Tyson
close.
Fury's younger brother.
Yeah, Tyson Fury's
And it was
brother.
close, yeah.
And it was close. He almost won that fight. He didn't.
He didn't.
He lost
'Cause
on a decision.
He lost a decision because, like I said, he's not as technically sound.
But it was close. I
as
mean,
some of these guys that have been
you
there
could have
forever.
given it. You could have given it either way.
That's how it goes a lot of times.
He's
especially with that.
I
type of
I have
situation.
the I agree. I have the Joe Rogan school of thought when it comes to that Paul boy, which is if he was not a YouTuber and he was just a guy boxing, like coming up, people would think, wow, he's got some talent. But because he's a YouTuber and he's a big mouth,
Now, do you
nobody
think-
gives him credit.
Do you think let's take the YouTuber out of it, but let's keep the big mouth. Let's keep that part. Let's keep the trash talk.
Well, they would give him a lot more credit. He'd be like a Floyd Mayweather type.
I guess, yeah. I guess it would be kind of like a Conor McGregor situation where people are just like it is right now. I guess not much would change.
Floyd Mayweather, the whole Money Mayweather thing's like a bit of a character.
Yeah, it's a heel character. Yeah,
Because,
it's a character of him playing a bad guy. Technically,
well, yeah, because he realized like he wasn't knocking people out, but he was technically better than people.
right?
Like,
Very good at defensive boxing.
He's a great
yeah.
defensive boxer. So when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, that was his first nickname, Pretty Boy Floyd.
I didn't know that actually.
Pretty Boy Floyd. He was not a draw, but he was winning. And then he took on this persona, the money persona, Floyd Money Mayweather, and he was like being a jerk and flaunting cash and doing his thing. And then people wanted to see him lose. So they're
Right.
literally
So
buying
that's why people would
tickets
pay
to see
him lose. Yeah,
to see him lose.
and then he wouldn't be losing, so people would keep on buying tickets
Correct.
to see him lose. Like, well, this might be the time.
So
This might be
that
the
was
time.
his draw.
And that
His,
was
his
Conor
draw
McGregor,
factor
too,
wasn't
yeah.
that we all loved him. It was that we want to see him lose. I mean, there's people that loved him.
Can you think of any fighters or any boxers, fighters, any combat sport in general? I already have a few in my mind. Can you think of anybody that did build up their draw off of being completely and utterly just loved?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got a few in my head too.
Yeah. That was what's his face? His whole shtick. I'm blanking his name now. He's Kobe Covington in the UFC.
Building his name off of being loved?
Oh, you mean did you say off of loved or being hated?
It's off of loved.
Oh, being off of love, build a reputation off of being loved. GSP was pretty loved.
Yeah, GSP was loved. I was more thinking like
Anderson Silva,
Wonder Boy has
Wonder
built
Boy.
up his reputation of just being a nice guy.
Max Holloway.
Max Holloway built a reputation just being a nice guy.
Max Holloway.
Who else am I thinking of? There is because when you think about it, there's very few people where they're known for they draw crowds because they're loved, because they're just down to earth, humble, nice guys that can fight, that are really good at what they do.
Yeah,
like you got
Mighty
Muhammad
Mouse,
Ali.
Wonder Boy.
Muhammad Ali was always a trash talker.
Trash talker.
Mike Tyson. Oh God, Mike Tyson was just feared, and people would love him because of how good he was and how he was a destroyer. But I wouldn't say people loved Mike Tyson. There were probably people that did, but not like, he's a nice guy.
He was a destroyer. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, there's been a couple.
Mighty Mouse is another.
Wonder Boy, Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
Max Holloway,
Max Holloway, yeah.
GSP.
Yep.
People loved the clean cut, like because GSP was very honorable, clean
Yeah.
cut.
Matt Serra.
Uriah Faber.
Uriah Faber. Yeah, that's true.
Faber's a
Matt
good one.
Serra as
Matt
well.
Serra.
Is another guy
Love
that I'm
Matt
thinking
Serra.
of, yeah. Matt Serra probably got his name for just being the way that he is.
I love Matt Serra.
Just a goofy guy. And
His podcast is awesome.
yeah.
I'm enjoying
Did you watch
it.
the episode? What was the... Dang it. I can't remember what it's called. But it's where they take like a fighter and they have him sit down and rewatch like his journey up to like a big fight in his career. What's that called? Do you remember?
I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking
But I
about.
watched the Matt Serra episode for that.
Oh,
and I
he's
was like,
great.
oh, this is amazing. Just watching his comeuppance.
Yeah, yep.
And just to him beating GSP for the title.
And they're
I was
friends
like,
now.
oh my God.
I
that's
love
so
that.
cool.
I love that they're friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they like text back and forth. And he's actually going to get GSP to come on the podcast. It's a great podcast. He's only got 4 episodes so far.
That's awesome.
And his last episode, like I just finished it. Like it comes out on Wednesdays or Thursdays.
I wouldn't know. I
It's
haven't listened to
like
any of it.
I have such a wide, like I love the Joe Rogan Experience,
Right.
but I mostly love the episodes where he's having on like weirdo, like not weirdo, like scientists,
Yeah, people that can talk about things you don't normally hear
political
about.
philosophers,
Yeah.
animal experts. I like those things. When he has other comedians on, I like them. They make me laugh, but they're not my favorite episodes. But then there's Matt Serra, and it's all geeking out,
Of course.
and he's good. He's funny. He makes me laugh. So this one was the Rocky movies.
Oh, the one that he just did?
Yeah.
Was about the Rocky movies?
Yeah,
What is your opinion on the Rocky movies?
like he does a countdown.
Of what his favorites were?
Worst
What
to
was
best.
it? Did it
Oh,
what
the
was
first
his?
Rocky was his favorite,
Oh, naturally. Usually.
which is of course the first one, and without the Creed movies. So he
Oh,
left the
he
Creed
didn't
movies.
include those?
No, Creeds were out.
Oh, okay. Well,
Creeds were out. Just the Rocky Balboa obviously counted.
good, because that's technically Rocky 6.
Yep. But yeah, he's done a couple of, and I
What was his least favorite?
for everybody's least favorite, Rocky 5.
I was about to say, there's no other answer than that.
I mean, everybody's least favorite. That's the worst Rocky movie ever made.
Unfortunately, yeah. I liked the concept, but I think they went about it
Terrible.
a bit, it wasn't really well plotted out.
I
They
did
could've done it
learn on
better.
that podcast, though, that there is a director's cut of Rocky 4, which now I have to go find.
Well, yeah, because Rocky 4 was great too.
So, but it had its goofy moments where, like, they got Paulie the robot. It had its silly moments of Rocky 4.
Naturally.
But apparently during COVID, like over COVID when everybody's
Yeah.
locked in, Sylvester Stallone sat down and recut the whole film.
He did it himself?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
With like extra scenes, but like, and took stuff out. And so he recut the thing over COVID. And
Wow.
apparently you can find it places. So
That's awesome.
Matt Serra didn't know, but the guy that's his producer, he had him, like, that's who he was doing the episode
His own
with.
young Jamie.
And he's
gotcha.
like, yeah, they did. I was like, that's great. So now I'm interested. Cause
Yeah, that's really interesting.
yeah,
Because I would
Because-
like to see that.
he sat down and did it over COVID, like when everybody's locked in.
I was like, I wonder what I have things to do.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
going to recut a whole movie.
because the first 3 Rockies are like, I mean, I love Rocky 4, but the first 3 Rocky movies are like very story driven.
Very much so.
And
Very
then-
much so. Rocky 4 was the one where it really wasn't so much a story, but a singular purpose. Like there really wasn't as much drama involved
Yeah,
in it. It was more just like, I need to avenge Apollo's. Yeah, I won't say too much in case people haven't watched the Rocky movies. But like, come on, if you haven't watched the Rocky movies by this point, people, definitely worth the watch. It's late. I'm tired. Definitely worth the watch. You can skip Rocky 5 though. You can skip Rocky 5.
There's the director's cut.
Is it like literally out there? Like you can get it?
Yeah.
Where is it on?
Well, IMDb, you can watch it on Prime Video has it.
Prime Video?
YouTube, obviously, you can rent it on. Yeah. What is different in Rocky 4 directors? Well, the list of changes extends. The main changes come from removing the infamous robot, adding more dramatic beats, such as Adrian, concerned about Apollo's reasoning to fight Drago. A sequence after Apollo's funeral, spoiler alert, in which Rocky
Ooh.
blames himself for his death. Adrian's fear of Rocky leaving for Russia.
So it adds a little bit more drama
I'm curious.
to it.
I'm curious.
So maybe his cut makes it more story driven, like 1, 2, and 3.
I have to watch. I have to get Kelsey to watch because we keep saying we're going to run the Rocky
The
races.
Rocky Marathon. She needs to watch at least the first one
The Rocky races
to understand it.
so it's not a marathon. It's not a full marathon, I don't believe.
Comment below if you know how long the Rocky run is. It's not a full marathon. No, it's not.
No. But it's a 2-day event or a 2-race event. But I think it evens out to a half marathon. But said you got to watch the movies before we run the race. Like she's never seen
she
the
has
Rocky.
to at least watch 1 and 2. Like, come on, 1 and 2 are practically one long movie.
To never have seen it, you have to see those movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So upon Kelsey's request, she said for her birthday she wanted me not to buy Crocs, and I bought 2 pairs.
For yourself. Yeah.
No, she said yeah, but she didn't want me to buy any Crocs. But yeah, they were my size came back in and one, and I had to get it. So right now I'm rocking the.
Yeah. What are these you got going on here?
These are the Echo Surge.
Echo Surge.
Yeah. Which are like a
Hold
sneaker.
it up a little higher. I just want to make sure it's absolutely in the frame. There it is. There,
What?
Yep.
And then I picked up.
Yeah, you got something else down there. What's going on
the
down there?
Mellow. This is the Mellow Recovery. These are Mellow Ease that I've talked about in a couple different
Mellow
podcasts.
Recovery Ease.
So the Mellow Ease. And
They're very sleek looking.
yeah, well, my
Lightweight,
wife,
too.
so I got them, and my wife was like, the first thing Kelsey goes is, those are old people shoes. And I'm like, I'm an old person. Like,
You're not that old.
but it's, I mean, I like them. I don't think they look terribly. She's like, no, they're like an old person shoes. Like
Like a senior citizen
yeah.
person.
And I'm like,
I didn't think that when you first held them up and showed them to me, but when I felt them and they're like, oh, they kind of feel like an old person shoe.
It's for recovery. I like
It's for
them.
recovery though, you're right. So
I'm diversifying my
well, look at it this way, right? So when you're a senior citizen, these can be the shoes that you wear. You know what I mean?
Well, I had that conversation with Andy Sachs. She's back in training. and
Good
whatnot.
old Annie Sachs.
And she was talking about. I showed her my other sneaker Crocs, the on the clock ones,
Yeah.
and because she was asking like we were just talking about shoes.
Mm-hmm.
She has her Nikes or whatever,
You're nice.
and she's like, yeah, but those aren't really Crocs. I said, yes, they are.
What aren't really
And
Crocs?
she's like, no, it's the Croc brand, but they're not Crocs. I said, no.
Wait a minute. No. That's not how brand works.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
When you get an iPad, yeah, it's not an iPod, but it's still an Apple product.
well,
Like,
they're Crocs.
so you still call it an Apple device.
well, yeah. But here's the thing.
So these are still Crocs.
I was like, so you're talking about the traditional clock, which is a type of Croc, the traditional
yeah.
clock. But they have all these
They're not
different types
called
now.
Crocs. They're called clogs. That's the style of
Well,
shoe.
that's why when people wear Jordans, those are Nikes. That's a particular version of
Jordan,
Nike.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's the exact same thing. She's off her rocker, that one.
so the Jordans are,
Have her on the podcast just to reprimand
the
her.
Jordans are the popular ones. Everybody loves their Jordans.
Oh, the expensive
Just
ones.
like the clogs are the popular Croc.
True.
But there are other versions.
Well, the clogs are definitely the one that's the most widely manufactured,
Yeah.
and it's definitely the most popular with the
This
kids.
is I gotta say,
Not my most popular.
I wasn't
style.
sure how I was gonna feel about because it's kind of like a fabricy top to the Echo.
So does the E's. The E's can have a fabric
Very
feel, too.
comfortable though.
I'm sure they are.
Very so these still have like the regular Croc liner on the inside.
Oh, okay.
The E's don't.
Is a cross-light liner on the inside?
Cross light on the inside of what I'm wearing right now.
Interesting.
But it is not cross light on the inside of these. It's a fabric.
No,
sole.
yeah, I felt it. Yeah, interesting. Okay,
So that's a
understand
difference
that.
there too.
gotcha.
This is still cross light on the inside of this. This is just like any other Croc
Yeah.
on the
Okay,
inside.
okay,
But very comfortable.
nice.
These are like
those- are those as
my other Echo Storms, the green ones.
Yeah, you showed them to me.
It's like these are like the same almost, except these have laces and the fabric part, where those are just pull up.
Oh, you know what? Now that you said it, I can see the similarity.
They're exactly the same almost.
Yeah, I can see the similarity in it. Yeah.
Yep. So got 2 new pairs, and we're ordering a shoe rack finally, like a big one for our mudroom, like a big wall sized
Get
one.
these Crocs out of her sight.
Yeah. So they'll be back there, and I'm sure she'll have a pair of shoes or 2 that she can put on.
Yeah, I'm sure. Naturally. Now what you got to do is you need to get get her a pair of Crocs without her knowing, right? Making sure they don't look like Crocs, and just see
Oh,
if she
knows.
knows. But like replace one of her shoes with those. Have them be the same color, same like style of shoe.
She'll figure it out.
I'm sure she would. It's just I want to see how long it would take her.
Oh,
And
she'll
then
figure it out.
imagine her be like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how comfortable these shoes are." And then you go, "Oh,
Nah,
those
she'll
are
figure it
Crocs,
out.
Kelsey."
I couldn't do it.
I'm sure she can actually
figured
just
it
hear
out
me
right
plotting
away.
this. I bet she could probably just hear me plotting this right now. But
So, yeah. So we're almost done with the Cape Crusader.
we are actually. I don't even know if we mentioned that we were watching.
We
that at all.
didn't because I don't know if Nick's watching it or not.
Well, you see, here's the thing. The last time we told Nick that we were watching a show, he just went ahead and watched the entire thing without us.
Yes.
So we're not going to tell him when we're watching shows, and we'll tell him after we're almost done with them.
We're almost done with it.
We're almost done with it. So,
Cape
hey,
Crusader.
Nick,
It was
we're
good.
almost done with the Cape Crusader.
It was good. It's good. I like it.
I like it a lot.
I think they're doing a good job.
It captures that older style Batman feel, not just because it's set like farther back, like in the same time period as
new.
Batman the Animated Series, but just it's a breath of fresh air when it comes to Batman because I like the feeling where we're getting that Batman where he's a detective, but he's also like taking on the criminals. He's not very strongly tied with the police.
Not yet, no.
Not very strongly tied. Well, I mean, like he's Commissioner Gordon and him are on good terms, but
yeah.
the police are not on his side technically.
No,
I
no
like
bat
that
signal
feeling.
yet.
No bat signal yet. We saw the spotlight on top of the roof, but
That's like if you ever watched an entirely underrated Batman and cartoon, The Batman.
oh, was that the one with the Joker that had like the really long wild hair
Yeah.
and it was barefoot all the time?
Yeah.
I watched the only thing I ever watched from that was the movie that came out, Batman versus Dracula, and I loved it.
So I got so that came out. I was much
Joker
older.
was a little weird, but I loved it.
That came out when I was much older, but I hit a stint a couple years back where I was like, I gotta watch this. So the whole series is on Netflix. So I started from the beginning and I watched the whole series straight through.
Nice.
It was excellent. It's entirely underrated.
I like it.
Very good. Highly suggest watching it. It's a different take on Batman, but it starts off the same way with him not quite on the same team with the police.
Interesting. Okay. But that seems to be where this one is going, and we haven't watched the finale yet.
No, not yet.
It's obvious now that there are certain obscure Batman villains, or even just DC villains in general, that show up in this show, which I liked. I liked the fact that they gave some other villains the spotlight, even if it was for just one episode.
Yeah.
It was nice to see them gain a little bit of a spotlight type deal, and then the believe it, contrary to what people would most likely believe, it being the Joker being the last villain of the season. It's not the Joker. It's going to be Two-Face.
Yep.
And I like that too, because the only other movie, well, that I've watched at least, that really did Two-Face right was The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
What was the other one? What was the other one that the other Two-Face was in? Was that the bad one?
That was Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. Yes, I've seen pictures and I've watched clips.
Oh, I watched
and
that.
I'm not going to watch that movie at all because that just does not. Because he wasn't acting really like Two-Face though.
No. So yeah.
Two-Face.
I have such
the one in Dark Knight. Really, there were some things missing.
I have such a love-hate relationship with the Dark Knight trilogy.
The whole thing as a whole, right?
The thing as a whole.
Well, we've talked about why you don't like it before.
Yeah.
But there's only one thing that the Two-Face from Dark Knight was missing, and
Batman
that was the
Begins
split
was
personality
perfect.
part of it.
Batman Begins was perfect. The Dark Knight.
See, like
the second
Batman
one
Begins perfect? Though?
Not perfect, but it was really good.
I was like,
It was. They had a lot better than. It was a lot better than the third movie, which was awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
here's the thing, but here's the thing though. My older brother and I talked. He was just a guest on the podcast last week. We had talked about this at length about like what could have saved that movie, and one, if you're gonna do Bane, you have to do the Nightfall storyline. If you're gonna do Bane,
They like
that
half,
needs to happen.
They like half tried to do it.
They did. They took
like
aspects
they
of it.
cherry picked
But
it.
I'm sorry, if you're gonna do Bane, you need to do a pure Nightfall storyline. Second thing, do you remember? Did you ever watch the animated movie that came out, Batman: Bad Blood?
Yeah, of course I have it.
The Heretic.
Yep.
Replace Bane in that movie with the Heretic. Doesn't
Ah.
that work a little bit better?
Yeah, I guess that. Well,
Huh?
yeah.
And now you got Talia al Ghul in there, but now she's not treating that kid like swap out the lover
Yeah.
aspect of it now. Have it be like, this is my.
So I listened to Matt Sarah's countdown with the Batman thing, and he loves the Dark Knight trilogy. Which again, Heath Ledger was still by far the best Joker.
Agreed.
Like that movie is very good.
Yes.
That movie's very good.
Mm-hmm.
So the first two movies hold up. I think for the most part, where I lose it is the third movie.
Well, like I just said, yeah, I agree. If you're gonna do a Bane,
And I just
and
hated.
let's clarify one thing. Tom Hardy could have been an amazing Bane. I didn't like the mask design. I thought that didn't look like Bane at all. And I loved the mercenary aspect of Bane. Like he was very like, that is technically how Bane is supposed to be. Like he's very like take control of Gotham by force.
But I mean,
type of
if you
deal.
follow,
Take control of the criminal
so
underworld.
you obviously read the Nightfall story.
I did.
Too. But like that's part of how he got to Batman was he wore him
Out.
down.
Yes.
He didn't
That's
let
why,
him
yeah.
rest.
Mm-hmm. You needed, if they were going to do Bane, they should have done the Nightfall storyline.
And
That's all I'm going to say.
Bane without Venom.
Yeah, see, that was another thing too.
A Bane without Venom, like
But yeah, see, they were a little wishy-washy on that. Like, no, yeah, they did it wrong. We'll put it that way. They did the story very wrong. They butchered the character of Bane. They kept some aspects that were good.
They-
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
if
And
they're
I
going
just-
to do Bane, they need to do Nightfall.
I so thoroughly hated. Like Matt Sarah made the point of when Bruce Wayne is in the pit and he's making the jump. And he's like, "Oh, you either got to fully commit. You got to take that safety. That's a good metaphor for life." And I agreed with all that, but my problem was he doesn't figure anything out for himself ever.
No, you mentioned that. You mentioned that, and you're kind of right. The only way you can really look at that is if this is obviously everything is a multiverse. This is not the same.
No, I
Batman.
know, but Batman's supposed to be more than just some guy that can beat people up.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
like
know which Batman story I really like, and it's not a movie. It's the Arkham games.
I heard they're amazing.
I
haven't
really
played
like
all the.
Arkham Knight does Batman combat perfectly. Picture Michael Keaton Batman in the Flash, his combat style in the Flash, but picture that in a video game. Him
you ever-
swooping down,
if you
doing
ever-
stealth
if you ever
takedowns
played,
and stuff like that. It was
If you
great.
ever played the Spider-Man games, like actually
I started playing
committed-
the first one and then I
if
never
you
got
actually
around to
committed
finishing
to
it.
playing them, that is perfect because you can.
Perfect to Spider-Man, right? Yeah.
Well, you could stealth it too. So like,
Well, yeah.
you can like web up people, pull them up to the rafters, and
Picture that with Batman now, and that's the Arkham Knight. I think
so
they also do the other Arkham games as well. I think.
sneak around. It was good. They did a good job on those games. I can't wait to play the second one.
So I actually have a very pertinent piece of information that I was saving for this. We can make this our last topic of the evening. It has been confirmed by IGN. You might have already heard this, by the way. It has been confirmed by IGN. There is coming out soon an RPG for Avatar: The Last Airbender. And it is being made by the same game development studio that made Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Oh,
And we saw firsthand
yeah.
what that game looks like and how awesome that game is.
I need a PS5. I just can't justify it because I have so little time.
It always comes back to the PS5. But Mike
have
Shannon
so
told
little
me this.
time to game.
Mike Shannon brought it up to me, and I said immediately, the first thing I said was, "Oh, we might need to start gaming in Crocs."
I have so little time to game that it's like
No, you're not wrong. especially with your
infuriating.
son.
But I like to justify a PS5. But it's
to especially with having your son now, who is very mobile,
super
very
mobile.
active, and definitely your son, 100%.
go,
Yeah,
go,
it's
go.
very difficult to find time to game. And even me, I find it difficult to game because life. But
Yes.
it's I honestly think if they're going to come out with a game like that, I will commit to spending my entire Sunday sitting there playing that game.
I'm just looking through IGN's.
Is it
there
there?
it is. Yep.
Yep, gotcha. You want to read some stuff from it?
Because I follow my news sources.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have an RSS feed reader, and then I just go through. It'll put players in the shoes of an all-new, never-before-seen Avatar.
Oh, wow. So wait a minute.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is getting a AAA RPG with Saber Interactive and Paramount Game Studios. Paramount Game Studios and Saber Interactive is called the Avatar Legends universe. We know loyal fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender have been eager for more stories that bring them into the universe of the show. And through game, we're able to expand the world building and allow fans to experience the new content in a completely immersive way.
So we're playing as an avatar from outside the storyline? Is that what it's saying?
Yes. It's universe.
I thought that it was going to kind of be like a
like how they did Dragon Ball.
No, not exactly.
Like the Dragon Ball Z the RPG.
I know what you're talking about. It's called
Kakarot.
Kakarot, where you kind of like play through the story of the show, but you're playing as Goku. And Sparking Zero is going to do something similar, but you can change the story in Sparking Zero. You can have different characters do different things in the show. So I had thought that they were going to have it take place after the events of the show, and that it was going to be sort of like an open world type deal where you're just dealing with threats as Aang.
Yeah, it says it'll put, giant quote on the top, it'll put players in the shoes of an all-new, never-before-seen Avatar.
Interesting. Okay.
Right,
I guess I'll have to learn more. I literally thought it was going to be like, okay, this is an open world, like sort of like with what the Spider-Man game was, from what I understand, where you can just like clean up crime around the city while doing the main quest.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be something like that, where they're going to have a main story
the
for
Spider-Man
Aang after the events of the show.
The Spider-Man games, I did really well. So Spider-Man Infamous, that's another one where it's like open world, but like it's easy to follow the tasks. I do well with those. Completely open world, like a Breath of the Wild, I find so overwhelming sometimes.
What's the difference? What's the difference between the two of them? How is Breath of the Wild like more confusing or complicated?
Because you can do anything in Breath of the Wild.
What do you mean?
Like you could jump right to the final boss, right in the like without having to level up. There's people that just go right to the final end thing.
So is there a story?
There's a story, but
you don't have to follow it.
And you could do a bunch of different things. Like you do anything in the game. And I don't think it's quite as task based. So like in Spider-Man, you literally get full, you just get a series of tasks. You pull up your list of tasks and be like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this.
See, the only problem that I have with that style of game is that sometimes the game throws a whole bunch of those tasks at you all at the same time. And you're like, I don't know which one to do.
Yeah. Well, I just check them all off the
problem.
list. I just check them all off the list as I'm going.
That's my problem.
And I thought Spider-Man was easy to follow. Infamous was easy to follow like that.
Yeah. If there was a game where it gives you the tasks not like all at once, like if you're able to, let's say the tasks have to be unlocked. Like if you do these side quests, then this side quest unlocks.
That's sort of
what I mean? Like
sort of how Spider-Man does it.
Yeah, because I would hate it if they give you like, you have to do this quest. Baldur's Gate is kind of like that. Where like, here's these quests, here's these quests, here's these quests, here's these quests, here's these quests you're gonna do. It's like, oh my God, I don't know which one to do now.
Remember Final Fantasy 16? What were we playing? 15? 14?
Yeah, but you see, with that one, though, you can choose which side quests you accept.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can choose which side quests to accept and which ones. Obviously, I'm sure in these games you could do the same thing. But in that one, if you don't want to walk up to the guy that has the big exclamation point above his head, you don't walk up to the guy. You know what I mean? You can choose to avoid those. It seems like... From what I've seen of Spider-Man, if you just stumble across something, all of a sudden there's that list of side quests. There's that task that you got to do.
Yeah, but
you can just stumble into it.
Yeah, but you don't have to do them.
I guess not, but then it's kind of like it's sitting there.
You don't
That's
have
my
to
problem.
do them.
Is that once it's set there, I'm kind of like it's just sitting there.
I got
this one's sitting here too.
I got a kick out of the side quest in the Spider-Man, and it did sharpen your skills. So
I'm sure
a lot of them made you better at like web swinging.
Well, that's the thing. Is when you do all those side quests, you level up faster, and then the main story is easier.
But
But me personally, I'm always a stick to the main story kind of guy. I really am not a fan of the side quests.
it depends on the game. It depends on what the side quests are.
Yeah. Plus, side quests to me, they just feel distracting because I
side
want
quests-
to do them.
The side quests on Final Fantasy VII, the original game, were like,
Too much?
no, you had to do them, but they were good. They were all pretty good.
I don't like that either, where they're kind of like, you have to do these side
You don't
quests.
have to do them, but I mean, like, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. But some of them are so involved.
I got you.
Like the original fight, you had to like a whole chocobo racing thing just to get the Knights of the just to get the Knights of the Round materia. But you're like, I have to do it. It's the best material. It's the best summon material in the game. I have
That's
to have
pretty cool.
it. So
That's pretty cool. Well,
yeah,
that's all I had. Do you have
yeah.
anything else?
No, I mean, I think we covered
about
without our
Third half?
Yeah.
The final third?
This
Third
is-
half. Oh, God. Wait, the final third?
without the final third. This is all we got.
This is all we got. Sorry, people. No, this is probably very disappointing. Nick, if you're watching,
You've
At this
disappointed
point-
everybody.
would Nick be home at this point?
No,
Not home
he's-
yet?
depends on when we put this out. Maybe
6
not.
p.m. on Sundays.
He might be home by then. Yeah.
You might be home by then. All right. Well, anyways, Nick, I'm sure you're listening and or watching. Or if not Nick, then your daughter Isabella is probably listening and or watching. Probably not your wife Nicole. She probably, or maybe she will watch this episode because she says the only reason why she doesn't is because she hears enough from Nick anyways. So this is the episode without
That's
him.
true. It is-
Maybe
it is
she'll
a
listen to this
Sans
one.
Nick episode.
Hey, Nicole. No, I'm kidding.
I wonder what Crocs he brought. We got questions for Nick when he comes back.
What about the bistro ones? He always wears the bistro ones.
Yeah. But
Or maybe
he,
his light rides. See, he likes his light
he
rides
does
too.
like the light
He
rides.
felt light
I wonder
rides
which
very
ones he brought
comfortable.
on the cruise.
I
if
bet he
any,
brought both of them.
If any. What if we didn't bring Crocs on the cruise?
Then I'll be very disappointed in him.
I know.
And we
I
might
would
have to revoke his final thirdness.
Right. What can he do?
Go back to being the shadow third. Because Kelsey's the shadow half, so he can't go back to being the shadow half. But he can go being the
He
shadow
lost
third.
that title.
Yeah. Kelsey's the shadow half.
Indeed.
It's true.
Yeah. Dead air. Did you do any of the? You didn't put up the submissions this week, did you?
Any of mine?
Yeah.
We did yours. Or
Yeah.
the one from
Could have done a whole
your
stream
JoJo.
of them.
I guess we could have, yeah.
Oh well.
I'm trying to spread them out. I have like content for this
Yeah.
week and content for that week. I'm trying not to like go to do because if I put them all up, then next week we're going to be like, well, we have nothing.
This is true.
Okay. Anyways,
Also, Prime Day is coming up,
Prime Day is coming up.
and I do have a chorus robe in my cart.
Oh God,
So
man, I don't even know, man. My voice is not what it used to be.
that's why we got to do.
years,
That's
years
why
of
we got to.
teaching.
No. That's why we
Years
got.
of teaching has scratched up my
No.
vocal
That's why
cords
we got
to
to do
its
it
limit.
now before it gets worse. One day you'll sound like this.
I don't know.
This is what you'll sound
always
like.
sounded
You
like
don't know
this.
that. I have not
You
always
said
sounded
to yourself you've always sounded
Nope.
like this.
I one time had a very high and soothing voice. Now,
That's not what you told me at all. You said you always had this type of voice.
nope.
He literally told me this 2 days ago. Well, actually,
False.
now it's longer.
Teaching has done this to me.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Where are? No. See, that's the thing. That's another. What's it called? What is that effect called?
The Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. The line is not where is she. The line is where are they. I only know this because I've watched The Dark Knight at least 100 times.
What do you think of the Batman?
I loved it.
It's good, right?
It was. I hope that they don't have him. I hope that they have him be more Batman-y in the next one. Not that he wasn't Batman-y in this one,
He was
but
only the second year as Batman.
yeah. But
Give him a break.
I know,
It's year
but
two.
next time, I don't want him knocking on anybody's door. I want him appearing in the room with no explanation as to how he got there, like Batman is supposed to. You know what I mean? That's what I want for this next Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
Just appearing.
I want him to just be in the room. Like when he was at the Penguins Club. Dun, dun, dun,
You know
who I am. Like, look,
You
what are
know,
you doing?
it's funny. He's like, that was something Matt Serra brought up when he was talking about the Batman movies. It's one of the Dark Knight trilogies where like he vanishes, but Gordon turns around and you see him leaping out the window, running down the fire escapes, and it's like
That was in Batman Begins.
he's like,
That
yeah, he
was
hasn't
before
quite.
he got that great
He's
idea.
like,
Yeah.
he hasn't quite mastered the turn around and he's gone thing yet. He's like, I
No,
don't want
he
to see him
hadn't.
running down the fire escape. And
He
like,
hadn't mastered that just
and I'm
yet.
like, yeah, I agree. I don't need to see him running down the fire escape. I like the where you turn around, it's just gone. It's such a Batman thing. They do it in
Yeah,
everything.
I mean, I understood why in Batman Begins they did that. He didn't even have a suit at that point. Like he wasn't even Batman yet. You know what I mean? So I get where they were coming from with that, but hopefully in the next Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batman, he's
That's like a staple
he's
of
not
the-
knocking on anybody's
That's
doors.
a staple of the Batman world. It's
It
just
is.
where it's,
That's what I'm saying. Where he just appears and he just disappears. Like that's what it is. I'm telling you, that's what's got to be next
I
time.
love how he did that in the animated series, the Justice League with Amanda Waller.
The animated series and Amanda Waller.
when he
yeah?
was like just
my
hands
God.
in a towel in the shower.
Yes. Let's talk. Oh my God, that
Or
was
calls
the
her,
best.
or calls her on the phone.
Kevin Conroy, man.
Calls her on the phone.
Call
How'd you get
off
this
the
number?
missile. How'd you get this number? Only the president of the United States has this number. He completely ignores her and just keeps telling her, call off the missile.
That's my version of Batman.
That's Batman, bro.
That's my version of Batman. So
That's
when you
Batman.
fall short of like the guy that's a step ahead of everybody, it annoys me.
I agree.
It annoys me. Like not that you can get tricked, but he's supposed to be like one of the smartest guys around. So it annoys me when he's not.
Well, it was been confirmed that he was the smartest person in the DC universe, and it was confirmed in the Deceased plot line where everybody is, going. I don't know the exact details of it. I didn't read it, but it's DC's version of Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
It's DC's all everybody's just getting
Well, they
infected by this infection, and Lex Luthor arrived at the Watchtower where all the remaining surviving members of the Justice League were, and one of his lines in that comic was. As the smartest person alive, wait, Batman's dead, isn't he? And everybody goes, yes. And he goes, good. As the smartest person alive. So, it's that little subtle thing where he's like, just got to make sure the guy that's smarter than me is actually dead. Okay, now I can say it.
That's the thing I feel they never quite got right in any iteration of in any movie is Lex Luthor.
In a live action movie?
Any live action.
I agree with you.
I don't think they've gotten him right yet.
Not quite.
He needs to be.
Michael Rosenbaum came pretty close in Smallville.
Yeah. But he needs to be like charming and suave and kind of arrogant and
He has
just
to
like
be like the Justice League, Lex Luthor.
I want to shake all these film producers and be like, look,
You have
like you have a
the
blueprint.
blueprint.
Like you have a blueprint. Just live action, the Justice League cartoons.
Just literally do it shot for shot in live action. Just come on.
So annoying.
It is.
It's so annoying to know how good it could be. And like,
yeah.
like I was not, other than, I was a big Spider-Man fan. That was my main comic book when I was a kid. But other than that, like everything was DC.
Yeah.
All the cartoons growing up,
Yep.
I did watch the animated series of Spider-Man. And it was good, but it was not as good as the animated series of Batman.
Nope.
Like nowhere near as good. The animated Iron Man series,
That was a thing.
oh yeah. Oh, it was 100% a thing.
The only thing that's ever come close to the Justice League cartoon on Marvel's end, what was it called? I think it was called Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
Avengers Assemble. That I've watched a couple episodes of that. That is a very good Avengers cartoon.
Well, and the X-Men was very good.
Oh yeah, the X-Men the animated series.
That was very good.
And then they
animated
have
series.
X-Men '97 that just came out.
Right. That was a very good animated series, but I still found more entertainment in Batman and the Justice League and even the Superman cartoon, the Superman animated series. Like
That
just
wasn't bad.
better.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I still enjoyed Batman the animated series.
The Superman animated series is like my direct blueprint for how a movie should be for Superman. Like do the first bit on Krypton, but not how they did it in
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
I thought the one they did in Man of Steel was pretty good.
It was alright.
I didn't like the fact that they had Jor-El die before Kal-El. Before the planet blew up.
Yeah.
I didn't like that in that movie.
I also,
But
yeah, there's a lot of like I don't like how they made Superman like dark and broody. That annoyed me.
I mean, you can make an argument for the fact, like, look at all this guy has been through in his
But
life.
that's the great part about Superman.
You're
He's
absolutely
not
right,
dark
and I think
broody.
that's what made that Superman good. Henry Cavill's Superman good is because that yes, he was dark and brooding at times. Because you can't have that face on forever. You can't. There's going to be times where you're going to be like, meh.
Well, yeah,
You know, like, you have
that's
to.
why the
And then
animated
you
series.
can't be like Batman
I
either,
found the animated series
where
captured
you're
that
meh all the
Superman
time. No, you're right.
perfectly. But that's the thing. Superman
animated
is
series,
not human. That's why he's Superman. He's the best qualities that you hope that humanity can achieve.
Which I feel has been greatly captured in My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. I don't like how
The
they
new
did.
Superman cartoon that
I
came
wasn't.
out.
I didn't like the contentious relationship between Clark and in the Man of Steel between Clark and his father. They had a very contentious relationship.
I think that that's the only parts of that relationship that they showed us. Obviously, after, I think they had their moments. Like, what kid wouldn't have
No,
those
but I
moments?
much
especially if you
preferred-
found out that he's not from the
I much
planet.
preferred the Christopher Reeve version where, Pa Kent and him were like tight, or Superman and Lois. The New Adventures Superman, the Lois
My
and Clark,
Adventures
the New
Superman,
Adventures. No, Lois and Clark, the New Adventures. Dean Kane's
Lois and Clark. Oh, that's
Lois and
different.
Clark,
That's
the
a
New
different
Adventures of
show, yeah.
Superman. It was Dean Kane's when he was
I
Superman.
never watched it.
I have the entire series on DVD.
I'm not really all that interested.
It's amazing.
I've seen so much. I'm sorry. I feel like it'd be ruined for me because Superman and Lois is so great, and then you have My Adventures with Superman, which is so great.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I'm going to compare it to that, and I don't know if
Oh
it's
yeah,
going to live up to
no,
it.
it definitely won't. I mean, it's
Sorry.
definitely a product of its time. But Dean Kane was excellent as Superman.
All right, cool.
Let me just say, Dean Kane,
Cool.
Superman,
Very nice.
perfect. But he had a great relationship with his parents, and that Pat captured it perfectly. Man, you got to watch that one. That's a good one. Now
What is?
I'm gonna make you watch.
No.
No, you got to watch that one.
No,
it's
it's
really
going to
good.
be ruined for me.
No,
I'm
it was
sorry.
good. It's
I'm-
cute. It's a product
I'm
of
going
its
to
time.
be watching it. I'm going to be like, nope, Superman and Lois did this better. Superman and Lois did this better. My
Dean
Adventures
Kane
with
was
Superman
good.
did this
though.
better. I'm going to do
Kane
that,
was
I
good,
promise.
though. Dean Kane was good.
I'm glad he was good.
I'm curious to see how they do this new Superman. We'll see.
I don't know if it's going to be as good.
Well, they got crypto in it, which is already alarming to me.
Well, I mean, crypto. I like crypto. It's a good little additive to him.
Yeah.
For the last son of Krypton, though, there seems to be a lot of Krypton left alive.
It's just very. We're going to jump in with crypto when you're trying to save the. Crypto's out there. He's got the animated movie that when he was Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh yeah, Super Pets.
Yeah.
Super Pets was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so he's out there. You don't need to put him in the Superman movie.
Maybe the first time that he ever really was.
They're going to botch this.
They probably
They're
are.
going to botch this.
They
so
probably are. I'm
hard.
sorry. I'm going into it very skeptically because the past is hard to forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is what it is.
Well, if you haven't already,
Yes.
let's kick this Croc at the comfort. Bro,
There we
which
go.
I
Which
guess
neither one
I'm
of us
in.
can do. I'm in my loafers and
I
you're in your
guess
sneakers.
I'm in comfortable mode.
Well, that's true. These are the recovery. No, these
no,
are
these are not.
those are the recovery.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at Kickin and Crocs. KICKIN.in.Crocs.
CROCS. Nobody would say. Somebody would say
says
the best.
Yeah. Everybody comment for Nick. Say the best. Subscribe to us on YouTube to watch the video versions of this podcast and to like the video because we know that you enjoyed it and to comment below if you have any opinions on any of the topics that we talked about. It was a very geeky,
Yeah.
very geeky podcast today. Very talked about comic books and stuff like that and,
Yeah. Comic books, Crocs,
and movies and
movies,
Yeah,
potential Avatar video game.
yeah, exactly. Which I cannot wait for. Gaming and Crocs, people. Gaming and Crocs coming soon. First, we're just going to have to get Caravella to draw the logo for us. And then we'll get right to it.
We'll just get AI.
Just get
Take
ahead.
our logo and make it play
No,
a
no,
video
no,
game.
no. It has to be Caravella from now on. Every logo that we do has to be Caravella.
Oh boy.
We should have him back on as a guest. Where was I?
Yeah. Because didn't the audio fail on him?
Audio failed on
Yeah.
for the not the audio only version. The audio only version was fine. It was the YouTube video version that was not.
Audio failed on. There's also a problem during the Super Bowl one too. Not Super Bowl. The
The tailgate one.
tailgate one.
Yeah, well, that was only because the recording for his Zoom was cut out. But you can still hear him. I just upped the audio. You can still hear him just fine.
Lame. Anyway,
I know. I
Yeah.
am aware. We
this
just said, I
podcast
just
has
said
ended. Go in peace.
I just said comment below. I'm trying to think if
5-star
there's anything
reviews.
else. Oh, that's right. We need someone to say 5-star review. Dang it! I should have had Nick film himself saying
5-star reviews. Something about picnics wherever you go. Put us on.
it. Barbecues.
5-star reviews.
He always says barbecues.
Your holiday event, Thanksgiving dinner, 5-star reviews.
Yeah, Halloween's coming up. Got to watch that Halloween. Watch the Halloween episode while you're trick or treating. Oh man, we're gonna have to be in costume again.
Potentially.
Until next time, I've been Steve.
Always Dave.
That's really sad. It's really
And
sad.
you stay kicking
He's-
into
he's-
it.
There's no one there to say still Nick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you ain't crocking, then you ain't rocking. And
I love you from the bottom of my Crocs.
there it is. You stay kicking, internet.
Boom.
Nick will be back next week.
Interesting people while kicking in Crocs. We're kicking in Crocs.